Money may have been a motive in one of the North Side murders Jose Rodriguez is now charged with. We were in court today when Jose Rodriguez went before a judge. As we reported, valuables were missing from Pamela Johnson's home in Cypress. And today, prosecutors allege that Rodriguez pawned several electronics that belonged to the woman. Rodriguez is accused of 5 violent attacks, including 3 murders. He remains in jail, a judge ordering he will not get the opportunity for bond.
Rodriguez has a rap sheet a mile long. So why in the world was he released on parole last year? David Gonzalez went to state officials for answers.
The Texas Department of Criminal Justice says the case against Jose Rodriguez is currently under investigation and they cannot comment on it any further. But this is what we've learned so far. We learned that Jose Rodriguez actually completed a sex offender treatment course while in prison in November of 2016, and he was paroled on September 29th, 2017. And as part of being paroled, he was assigned a parole officer who he had to check in with on a regular basis. They say that while he was on parole, there were actually no issues whatsoever, that he registered as a sex offender and also underwent regular polygraph tests. And as part of being paroled, he was equipped with an ankle bracelet, which reported back to the TDCJ and also his parole officer. July 5th, that is the date where they believe Rodriguez actually tampered with his ankle bracelet. July 8th, they say that it stopped transmitting altogether, and they actually issued a warrant that exact same day. But as we all know, he was not captured until July 17th after a nationwide manhunt. So when you break down the numbers here in Texas, there are about 84,000 parolees in the entire state. If you break it down any further, here in the Houston area, there are about 18,000 parolees. According to the TDCJ, they say there are about 340 parole officers for all of the parolees in the Houston area. They also say, talking to another local expert here locally, they say that for every one parole officer, they oftentimes have as many as 250 clients. So they say that this Rodriguez case is actually a rarity and that no one is to blame other than Rodriguez. And they say that we should support these guys because being a parole officer is often a thankless job. Back to you.